Welcome to the additional meeting of Warwick District Council on 18 December 2025 at the Town Hall, Royal Leamington Spa. My name is Naveen Tangri, Chairman of Warwick District Council. Before we consider the agenda, I remind those present of the emergency procedure. There are no planned tests of the emergency alarm. If the alarm does sound, everyone present must leave by the designated exit route via the main reception. If the preferred route is blocked, use the nearest signed alternative route. Do not use the lift. Everyone must assemble at a designated point, which is on the Regent Grove. Members of the public and press should report to a member of reception team who will be wearing yellow fluorescent jackets. Councillors and officers should report to the committee officer. Please do not re-enter the building until the fire officer advises that it is safe to do so. As part of this council's commitment to reducing the use of paper, councillors and officers may use electronic devices during the meeting. Item 1, apologies. Are there any apologies for absence?
Through you, Chair, would you like... through you, as I say, through you, Chair, would you like me to do this? Because I think I have apologies from Councillor... Listen up, Councillors. Councillor Hazelwood, Armstrong, Billiald, Brown, Collins, Davidson, Kate Dixon, Richard Dixon, Councillor Dre, Firth, Bill Gifford, Carolyn Gifford, Gorman, Hales, Jones, Kennedy, Knight, Kohler, Luckhurst, Margrave, Matetsky, Payne, Phillips, Rossou, Claire Whiteman and Yella Pagada.
Thank you. Item 2, declaration of interest. Member, are there any declarations? Councillor Falk.
So recorded this. I will be speaking about the sports grants. So organisations I am involved with have been beneficiary of the sports grants, and my son also works in that department, but actually does not work on anything to do with sports grants.
Through you, Chair, for Council's benefit, on that item you are only being asked to amend the scheme, the Constitution to record a scheme of delegation which the Cabinet have approved this evening. So there's no actual discussion on the sports grants policy itself. It is just a delegation. Happy Christmas, Jim.
Thank you. Item 3, communication announcements. I have nothing to report to Council, but I take this opportunity to wish you all and our community a very happy Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Councillors, there's a statement. Councillors, I have a separate request from Councillor Day to make a statement to you, which I will not accept any question on. Councillor Day, can you please tell? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman, for leave to make this special statement to Council. At the Council meeting held on the 4th of September, I made public accusations about the behaviour of Councillor Hazelwood as a member of the South Warwickshire Local Plan Advisory Group. I recently met with Councillor Hazelwood to discuss his concerns about my comments and agree that I promptly should clarify to Council that at no point did I intend to infer that Councillor Hazelwood was being dishonest or that he had shared specific items of confidential information in his dealings with CPRE and the Hatton Parish Council. Any inference being taken from my comments that Councillor Hazelwood is not a trusted person is therefore entirely erroneous. My question to the leader of this council meeting addressed the inability of this important group to properly function and my frustration as co-chair at these pressing concerns not being dealt with in an appropriate and timely way. For the record, I would like to publicly express my appreciation for the work that Councillor Hazelwood did as an active member for 2 years under my co-chairmanship, taking forward the advisory group's work to develop a new local plan for South Warwickshire. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Day. Item 4, petitions. I can confirm that I have no business on the agenda under item 4, petitions. Item 5, notices of motion. I can confirm I have no business on the agenda under notices of motion. Item 6, leader and portfolio holder statements. I thank the leader and the cabinet for agreeing not to present any statement to this meeting. Item 7, questions to the leader and portfolio holders. I thank councillors and group leaders for agreeing not to ask any questions at this additional meeting. Item 8 is cabinet reports. We are considering a recommendation from cabinet meeting held earlier today, the decision of which was shared via summary of decisions. The 2 items we are considering, item 4, parking fee and charges for the year 26-27 and update on parking strategy. Item 5, sports and leisure team resources and grants. Can I confirm that councillors have read the report to cabinet, the comments from the budget review group, overview and scrutiny and pre-meeting questions and summary of decisions on these matters? Cabinet item 4, parking fees and charges 26-27 and update on parking strategy. For the public, the primary purpose of this report is to set the car parking fee and charges from April 2026 for those car parks owned by District Council, as well as approving the necessary consultation. Can I have a proposer in the seconder, please? Councillor Will Roberts. Anybody seconding? Councillor King. Any speakers? Councillor Roberts.
Yeah, I just wanted to lay out this paper. Thank you, Chair. So this report for Council are recommendations 3, 4, 5 and 6 of the parking fees and charges for 26-27 Cabinet report. These include the proposed variations to the existing fees and charges for the Council's off-street parking as set out in Appendix A for 26-27 and the proposed new 30-minute tariffs for some of our car parks and delegated authority. We've taken a more dynamic approach this year with the fees and charges based on recommendations from the emerging parking strategy, which is due to come forward in early 26, which, as mentioned, includes a new 30-minute tariff for some of our car parks. As part of this work, we worked with PML parking consultants over the summer to carry out an extensive consultation with a wide range of stakeholders, internally and externally, including business groups and businesses who've had their own dedicated survey. Overall, we had 1,000 responses, which included over 100 from businesses.
Thank you. Councillor Milton.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you to Councillor Roberts for bringing the paper forward and also for supporting our discussion at overview and scrutiny last night. I guess the point I want to make is more of a general one, and we've had this a couple of times recently where, particularly when fees and charges are being changed and there is a strategy coming as well, actually it's very important that we get them in the right order. So what we've had this year, again, is we've got fees and charges being changed and then a strategy that's been delayed. And I understand that, and I understand Councillor Roberts' frustrations about the delay of that. But I think it is something that we need to look at because it actually makes things very difficult to scrutinise at a strategic level, and we end up in actually some sort of quite detailed discussions about certain car parks, for instance, which I know I was guilty of. But it is, I think it's an important point that actually, as far as possible, we are seeing things in the round rather than just the detail.
Thank you. Councillor Barton.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Again, thank you for the report. I suppose I'm a little bit disappointed that it's now December the whatever, and the budget review meeting was a while back. I wish we could be a bit more quicker. And it's a shame it wasn't, although I did support Jonathan, Councillor Chilvers, at the time for putting it back. I wish we hadn't have done. I mentioned that, and I'll mention it again, at overview and scrutiny last night. There are some changes to car parking, like the 30 minutes we're going for. And could I just ask again, at full councillors I asked last night, can overview and scrutiny have a quarterly report or a half-yearly report to see how this new 30 minutes, etc., is going. That's all. Just like to have that, please.
Thank you. Councillor Farr.
Am I allowed to talk about the sports grants, or has it still got to be car parking?
Through you, Chair, you haven't got onto that item yet.
Councillor
I'm
Davis.
actually going to support the fact that this has been looked at, because it has been in operation for a long time, and we should not leave things so long before we actually review them. I was disappointed there's no consultation with regular users, but I really welcome the social value aspect of it.
That's the one. I think you just commented on the sports grants, which you haven't got onto yet. You're still on car parking.
Yeah. That's Councillor Davison.
It's like, this is more a general point. Thank you all for coming this time. You obviously gather there were challenges in the last cabinet around, and some of those were a couple of extra emergency reports that had to come in that you may remember, and there was no way around that. So I want to personally thank, on public record, Councillor Milton because we discussed at length that we were very, very keen that fees and charges actually come forwards, because it's a key part of what we do, but it coming so late, he quite rightly said there wouldn't be enough time for scrutiny. So this was the solution we found. So apologies for dragging you all here for these two items, but it's important. So that's the main point. I think everybody here agrees we'd have much preferred the strategy agreed in advance, earlier, and we wanted it months earlier than we are now, but there was a lot of backwards toing and froing, and it wasn't in a state that we wanted to share. So that's why it's the wrong way round. We have to get the fees and charges through, otherwise there's big delays on that. So apologies for that, but there's been huge work by officers and by Councillor Roberts, so I hope it's not their fault. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Davison. Councillor King, you want to say anything? Or you seconding? No? Can I? Councillor Roberts, you want to say anything again? Or?
Just responding to Councillor Barton on the 30 minutes, yes, we will be monitoring those every month, and of course we'll make that available to all councillors. That's not a problem at all. And I think Councillor Davison has summed up, thank you to everybody for this and the reasons why it's been frustratingly delayed. So I hope you can all support these proposed charges as laid out.
Thank you. So can we take a vote on this? Those in favour? Against? Abstain? It's carried forward. Thank you. Item 5, Sports and Leisure Team Resources and Grants. The second item for us to consider from Cabinet is not the approval of policy, but for the request to Council to update Constitution to reflect the delegated authority to the head and neighbourhood in consultation with portfolio holder to allocate the district sports and activity grant fund. Can members confirm they have reviewed the recommendation? Can I have a proposer? Councillor Sinnott? Anybody seconding? Councillor King? Any speakers?
It's getting late. I understand what the motion is, and I understand that, the delegation should go through to the head of the department. I just want to say, it's good that we're looking at it too long, too long in between when it was first put in and things have changed. I was disappointed there wasn't consultation with the actual users. I know we always used to give feedback, but I think consultation would have been very welcome. I'm going to say my bit because I've written it anyway. WDC helped Christmas happening in Whitnash again this year. But sadly, the Christmas Grinch has come and could stop much needed and much appreciated support in Whitnash. And I'm looking forward to the report in 12 months' time through scrutiny.
Councillor Barton?
I second that. Whitnash does use the sports grant, and I'm not quite sure, but as long as it's open to all, as usual, and not just certain areas of our community, we have to take into consideration that Whitnash has got its own and looks after its own civic centre and sports facilities, where Kenilworth, Leamington and Warwick don't own their own sports facilities. They're all run by Warwick District Council. So we do rely on the sports grant when it's available quite a lot. So as long as it's still open to all and not certain parts of the community, I think we would be reasonably happy. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, any other speakers? Councillor Sinnott?
Thank you, Chair. In response to that, I take on board, but the sole thrust of the paper is that we can increase the grant money by 22%, so there's more money to go around. It is open to absolutely anybody, including Whitnash. So there should be more opportunity to apply. It also gives us a means of focusing, targeting, joining up different agendas, whether it be health or well-being. It gives us the freedom for our officer team to make those connections. It makes it a stronger proposition. And I really thank our officers for engaging with the change programme and finding a better way to do things and for the betterment of our residents. So I'm quietly confident it's a better offer. I know I've got some beady eyes watching me, and in 12 months, I dare say we will have the data, we'll have some evidence, and I'm hoping a lot of good news coming from it. So I heartily support this paper. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Sinnott. Councillor King, you want to say anything? Any other speakers? No, can we go for a vote then? Those in favour of this? Those against? Those abstention? Thank you. Public and press, I have been advised that we do not need to consider excluding the press and public as item 10 on our agenda, confidential appendix to item 4. Parking fee and charges 26-27 and update on the parking strategy was not a matter for council to consider. Item 11, therefore, we now move to last item of the business on the agenda is the fixing of common seal as set out on the agenda. I'll propose from the chair, I can see Councillor Davison indicating in second. So, Councillor King, thank you very much. The meeting is closed. Thank you.